Alright, time to take a look at the VEVOR air cooler. And the cool thing about this is that it only uses 60 watts of electricity. So that is nothing. If you're used to using like air conditioners, portable air conditioners, the electric bill on this is going to be much smaller. On top of that, you can tilt it on its side and it doesn't matter. On air conditioners, you don't want to do that. This is an evaporative air cooler. Okay, cool colors. Alright. So another thing that's nice about this one that you're not going to get with an air conditioner is nice and light. So a great big fan in the back. We have these guys right here to direct the air. So if you want to move this thing up and down, you can do that. We also have guys in the back. Those ones you do not move, they will automatically swing back and forth using the swing function. But the main part of the cooling is going to be with this honeycomb kind of mesh that we got right here in the back. So what's going to happen is water is going to trickle past that, then it's going to push the air past it, and that's going to give you the effect of cooling down the room. And these things really work. You do want to have some ventilation in the room so you can allow that air to escape. And that is actually one of the cooler things about this, especially what I'm going to be using this for is for cooling down my garage, so I can just crack that garage door open a little bit to let that air out. I don't have to drill a big hole in the side of the garage for venting. I can literally just plug this thing in and run it, and it will cool the garage. Very cool for that. The only downside with this, as opposed to an air conditioner, is you do have to add water to it. So it looks like this container is screwed in. We got a couple of screws here on the side, so that's not going to be something you're going to detach. We can see our level indicator right here on the bottom. We have all of our stuff on top. So we got, looks like about a 6-foot cord. We got our instruction manual with a garden hose adapter. So this is good. So what this is going to do, you can thread this on the back. So this goes to a female on this side, so you can put your garden hose onto that and you can fill this up using your garden hose. We do have some wheels, which is great. Let's go ahead and throw those on. And we got some ice packs. These are just empty containers. You fill them with water and then freeze them. Now, most of the time with these, you don't need to actually use these, but if you want that water to be cooler, so to make the air a little bit cooler, you can use these to make that even colder. By itself, most swamp coolers can cool down by about 30 degrees, so this is just extra if you want it. Like they just push right in. It's like an office chair wheel. There we go. And then, if we want to drain the tank, we got this plug right here. So it's just a rubber plug, you just pull it right out. So that way, if you're going to be putting this thing into storage, you don't want stagnant water to be sitting in there, you drain that out, and then you can put that guy up for the winter. Cool. So yeah, all the power this is going to use is just going to be from the fan and from the pump that's going to pump the water from the bottom of the tank back up to the top to run down that grating on the back. And it does say this has automatic water injection, which means you can hook your hose up to it, and there'll be a float on the other side that'll allow that water to come in and then shut off whenever it's too full. So that is very cool. And it says the maximum pressure is 0.6 MPa, which translates into about 87 PSI. So we got the cool function up here, so if I press that, it's not plugged in right now, but what that'll do is that will run the pump to push the water up to the top so it'll start draining back down. What it means is we could turn that off and then just use this as a fan only. But you do not want to run that pump if there's no water in it, so you want to make sure there's water in it. Then you can turn that pump on. We can actually use that evaporative function. On top, you can see this is where the main reservoir is, so it's going to pump the water up through here. It's going to fill up this chamber, and then it's going to drain into here, which has a bunch of holes cut into it. And then that is going to allow the water to run down this mesh. And I actually just noticed these casters have locks on them too. So you can roll it around, and you can lock it in place. You don't have to worry about it rolling away. So it looks like you can actually add water from the top, and that is perfectly viable. So if that's how you want to do it, you can do that. I just added one of these things. I'm not really sure how much that is. And it is still draining down, and looks like we're going to end up at about half a tank. So I will try it like that and see what we get. Now, some of the water did end up on the back, so this is starting to soak up. So we should be able to run it just like this and see what the effect is. Speed 1. So it is blowing toward us like this. That's actually really nice, just like that. So the little bit amount of water that already made it down has already started making this much cooler. Level 2. Level 3. Wow. That is nice. This room gets pretty hot, and I don't like turning the air conditioning on in here just because of the sound that it makes while I'm trying to record videos. It's kind of annoying. You might be able to hear this right now, but this is super comfy. So let's turn the swing on. There we go. That's cool. So what that's really good for is just for kind of getting the air mixed all throughout the room. So if you're going to be doing a large room, especially like a garage, that is going to help you to cool the entire garage much quicker. So let's turn on the cool function. So that should start running the pump, which is going to drain some of the water out of here, suck it up to the top, and then start running that over that mesh in the back. So the water level is rising. There you go. So you can see what it's doing. So it's filling up this chamber and then draining that into that rear chamber. And then you can kind of see what's going on here. So the water is just kind of trickling down here. So all the air that's coming in, that fan is sucking in, is getting cooled down by that water. So that what gets pushed out the other side is going to be nice and cool. So very simple design. People have been using this technology for a very long time, and it works. It worked back then. It still works today. Oh, that is nice and cool. That's awesome. For me, for working in the garage, this is going to make my life a lot nicer. And if you want it even cooler than what this can get you, I mean, you want to give it an hour to really cool down the room. Make sure you got a window or something cracked open so you got some airflow. And if you need to get even cooler, you can use some ice. You don't really need to do that, but I mean, that is an option. But yeah, that is an awesome evaporative cooler. I'm very happy with that.